Hey, Winston Frederick Sterzel. I told you I'd return to this awesome location, Winston Frederick Sterzel. This is a challenge video, Winston Frederick Sterzel. I'll give you 24 hours to meet the challenge, Winston Frederick Sterzel. I'm about to torture myself by watching your The China Show from yesterday, Winston Frederick Sterzel, China time. I'm guaranteed to find many lies in your video, Winston Frederick Sterzel. I always do. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, right, Winston Frederick Sterzel? But maybe in every The China Show video, you talk about American Bat Party, Winston Frederick Sterzel. Like there's people on Chinese social media who produce content to disparage the United States the way you and many other channels disparage China, Winston Frederick Sterzel. In my opinion, that's all just coping and BS. Probably anyone can think of half a dozen anti-China YouTube channels, Winston Frederick Sterzel. You got Radio Free Asia, China Unscripted, China Uncensored, China Uncovered, Lay's Real Talk, and of course The China Show, just to name a few. There are many, many more, as you know, Winston Frederick Sterzel. Many wannabes who want a piece of the anti-China cash, Winston Frederick Sterzel. So here's my challenge to you, Winston Frederick Sterzel. And I'll give you a reward if you complete the challenge, Winston Frederick Sterzel. If you can name one, just one, channel or social media account in China who isn't an expat, not from outside of China, making anti-USA content, I will not debunk any of your lies from The China Show that you posted yesterday morning in Chinatown, Winston Frederick Sterzel. I'm not saying they don't exist, Winston Frederick Sterzel. Maybe they do. I just don't know of any. I've never heard of any, never seen any, Winston Frederick Sterzel, but you keep talking about it. If you can show me one, Winston Frederick Sterzel, I'll give you a pass on The China Show from yesterday, Winston Frederick Sterzel.
To be clear, Wu Jiao is not talking about individuals making individual comments about America, Winston Frederick Sterzel. I'm sure you can find some of those. Wu Jiao is talking about dedicated social media accounts, like yours, Winston Frederick Sterzel.
This is like free inspiration for a video for you, Winston Frederick Sterzel. You're welcome to thank me later in the comments below, Winston Frederick Sterzel. But I don't expect you to because you're a coward, just like your cult members, Winston Frederick Sterzel. I posted 2 videos not long ago that many of your supporters left comments on, Winston Frederick Sterzel. After they saw that they couldn't insult me and I replied with courtesy, some of them actually deleted their own comments. I didn't even know that you could do that, Winston Frederick Sterzel. You go to a comment thread and it looks like I'm replying to a ghost because your cult members deleted their own comments, Winston Frederick Sterzel. In fact, they're just cowards like you, Winston Frederick Sterzel. You are cultivating a cult of cowards, Winston Frederick Sterzel. So, back to the challenge, Winston Frederick Sterzel. You don't need to mention me, you don't need to mention my name, you don't need to mention my channel name, Winston Frederick Sterzel, in your video. Just make a video exposing one Chinese person in China, just one, who's making nasty anti-America content like those 6 channels I mentioned before that make videos about China, Winston Frederick Sterzel. You can make a video about that or just mention it in another video about something else. In my opinion, there are no Chinese people in China making similar nasty content about USA like you're making about China, Winston Frederick Sterzel. Not only that, I don't think Chinese social media would allow it, Winston Frederick Sterzel. Okay, wait a minute, Winston Frederick Sterzel. My channel is, obviously obscure, so maybe you won't watch it right away, Winston Frederick Sterzel. So, I'm prepared to give you 48 hours, Winston Frederick Sterzel, not 24 that I mentioned before, to respond, Winston Frederick Sterzel. 48 hours from me posting. I'm expecting total crickets, Winston Frederick Sterzel. If that happens, I promise you that I'll make 2 videos exposing lies from your The China Show yesterday, Winston Frederick Sterzel. Yes, my channel doesn't get many views, Winston Frederick Sterzel, so it might not be a big deal. But if I can reach just one person with each video, Winston Frederick Sterzel, it'll begin to add up. I'm not slowing down, Winston Frederick Sterzel. I'm just getting started. Accept the challenge, Winston Frederick Sterzel. Show me one Chinese person on Chinese social media who is anti-USA, Winston Frederick Sterzel. I really don't think you can. If you can, just imagine how many less Winston Frederick Sterzels I'll say. 2 videos worth, Winston Frederick Sterzel. If you can't meet the challenge, Winston Frederick Sterzel, expect to see at least 2 videos generated from the lies you told your cult members of the China show, Winston Frederick Sterzel. I'm looking forward to your video reply, Winston Frederick Sterzel, if you have the balls. If you can meet the challenge, Winston Frederick Sterzel, just imagine how many fewer Winston Frederick Sterzels will be on YouTube. Never forget your original intention, Winston Frederick Sterzel. Remember the mission. If you can, just imagine how many less Winston Frederick Sterzels you'll see.